So what's going on, guys? My name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel today. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Sorry for the inactivity on this channel. Unfortunately, my A-levels are coming up in a couple of weeks, my final exams, which will determine whether I get into university or not. So I hope you guys can understand why I haven't been posting much. However, in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about why FIFA 20 should be free. And it's not just going to be as simple as, well, we don't want to spend money, so the game should be free, because obviously it doesn't work like that. If we had our way, everything would be free, right? But anyway, guys, before we get into the video, I would appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one. Be sure to comment down below any video suggestions you have, because I am currently struggling at the minute, I cannot lie. The gameplay you'll be seeing in the background is me going into the weekend league with a team of goalkeepers. I decided to do this just for a bit of fun, and I think it might be a bit more interesting to watch than the usual sweaty gameplay that you see in FUT Champs. But yeah, with all that aside, guys, let's get right into today's video. So when we talk about why FIFA 20 should be free, like I said, it's not just because I want to save money. It is partly that, but there's so much more to it in my opinion. If you think about it, guys, EA's money mainly comes from microtransactions within Ultimate Team in FIFA. And the amount that they actually make from sales is not as much as they make from microtransactions. So most of the money does come from microtransactions such as FIFA points. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you guys are aware that EA make billions and billions of dollars a year, and that's just from FIFA. Yes, some of it does come from the sales, but if you think about it, the majority is microtransactions, because, like, take into account people such as Bateson and Castro literally spending thousands and thousands of dollars on FIFA points every single year, and that's just two people. There's many people in the FIFA community that buy a lot of FIFA points. Let's say you bought one set of 12k FIFA points a year, that's about £80, which is like twice the amount you paid for the game in the first place. So my point here is EA could definitely survive from making the game free while still getting their money from microtransactions. Now, I know I use this game as an example quite a lot, but if you take a look at Fortnite Battle Royale, they make all of their money from V-Bucks and microtransactions. And the guys at Epic Games are currently making more money than any other game in the world. So you are definitely able to make a game free if you can make a substantial amount from microtransactions, which EA Sports definitely do, especially with how pay to win the game is. Now, I've made the point that EA could survive and still make more than enough money off microtransactions alone, but why should they actually do this? Why shouldn't they just carry on, re-releasing the game every year, making people spend like 50 quid on the game? Why shouldn't they do that? And my honest answer to this, guys, is something you might not expect, and it would be to please the community, which might be something that you deem irrelevant, but this could really help EA. Just think about this. We all think of EA as money grabbers, because that's essentially what they are, right? And they just pretty much take people's money without seeming to care much about the game that they're actually producing. If they released the game for free, it would immediately make the community happy, because it looks good on them, doesn't it? If you release a game for free, people think, you know what, fair play, that's a good move for you. And if you have a happy community, they're more willing to spend money on the game through like microtransactions. And if you do make the game free, you're going to attract new customers that can't afford to buy the game every year anyway, which is good for the player base. You will also attract players that obviously can't afford to buy the game but just choose not to, because why would they spend money on a game that they're not sure if they'd like or not? And if they do end up buying this, well, downloading this game because it would be free obviously, and enjoying it, they might end up spending money on microtransactions themselves. So EA are going to actually end up making more money if they do this. Now, one of the main reasons EA have lost customers over the year is because they essentially re-release the same thing every year. Like, they add a few new features, maybe like a game mode in Ultimate Team or something, but essentially it's still the same. And believe it or not, guys, a lot of people have got fed up of this and just quit the game as a whole. So if they do make the game free, it would keep the player base healthy, because you wouldn't be expecting or demanding so many new features all the time, because you're not actually like paying for anything, if that makes sense. The reason people don't buy FIFA every year is not because they don't add a lot of new features, it's because they don't add a lot of new features and still re-release the game at the exact same price that they did every year, and people get fed up of this. It's not that they wouldn't play the game, it's just like, why would they spend another like 50 quid on the game that they bought last year? If they make it free, people will be like, cool, and just start again because it's free. It's evident FIFA is losing its player count because they do just re-release the same game every year pretty much, and people are just fed up of spending that amount of money every single year on essentially the same game. I'm not saying EA don't change anything in the game, obviously there's gameplay differences and stuff, but for the casual or just like overall player, it's not a big enough change to warrant, you know, spending another £50 on the game or whatever. If they make it free, it would increase the amount of players that actually play the game, and if there's more players on the game, more players will actually buy microtransactions, which will actually make them more money than they would get in the first place. You'd be amazed at how much this simple change could actually change FIFA forever, because it would work a bit like this. If they make the game free, like I've said, you'll get a bigger player base, they'll probably end up making more money, they'll have a happier community because they're not actually having to pay for anything every year and whatnot, and if there's more players, there'll be more people watching the game, which has like a snowball effect. So essentially the game just gets bigger and bigger, which means more people will be interested in like their Twitch streams and their esports events, and it's just a win-win for everyone, really. Another way EA could profit from this massively is if they change features in their core game modes such as career mode and pro clubs. If they add cosmetic items in game modes such as pro clubs and career mode, you're automatically going to make more money as well, because people will be interested in buying these things. Like, look at Fortnite. People love buying skins and they give you no competitive advantage. So again, it's a win-win for everyone because nobody's getting a pay-to-win advantage in these game modes, yet EA is still making more money, which will, you know, lead them to actually focus on these game modes a bit more as well. All they'll need to do is introduce like cool tattoos that people can buy, or even like a battle pass or something, you know, include kits and stuff that people can pay for, and it just makes them money without it actually ruining the game. This would only add to the profits they currently make from Ultimate Team as well, which means they'll be making even more money on microtransactions, further supporting my point that the game could be free because they already make enough off microtransactions in order for the game to be free. And like I said, it makes everyone happier because EA will be making money, the community will be happy, and a healthy community means a healthier game. Now, a lot of people do complain about pay to win in Ultimate Team, and that's completely fine because nobody should really be paying for an advantage in a game. That's just my opinion. But if they were to make the game free, you could understand it a lot more because that's where their, you know, source of money comes from. This would allow them to keep the same pay to win model with, you know, less hate essentially, because you can hardly call them money grabbers then if the game is free in the first place. Like, that doesn't work, does it really? Now, I think it's important that I say this change will probably never come into place because it's EA Sports, and where they see money, they will take the money. Like, that's just how they've always been, and it's how they probably always will be. Like, if they can make this amount of money from selling the game at this price every single year, they're probably going to carry on doing it, and they don't really care what some idiot in the community such as myself thinks. All I've done in this video is state why I think FIFA 20 should be free and how it would benefit from being free. Like, I think I've raised some pretty valid points in this video. Like, I'm sure some of you will agree, and if you disagree, let me know why. I personally think what I've said has been pretty genuine because it does make sense, doesn't it? EA do make all of their money off of microtransactions, well, a big portion of it at least. So it would allow for a happier player base, a bigger player base, still the same amount of money off of microtransactions, in fact maybe even more, meaning that like their net profit will be pretty much exactly the same or even better. Like, honestly guys, if there was one change I could make to the FIFA franchise, it would be this, because I think it would make the biggest difference out of everything. It would be a catalyst into EA fixing their game, it would be a catalyst into EA getting a better player base and a bigger player base, and it would just make the game so much better as a whole, and it might even make EA a bit more respectable again. Because let's be honest, they haven't been in anyone's good books recently, have they? The amount of errors that they've had is just pretty embarrassing, like their server outages and everything. Like, they couldn't even specify which players were in packs and which players were in SBCs for Team of the Season. That's how bad their communication has gotten. And I don't even want to get started on their mess ups because there's far too many of them for me to even cover. Like, there's just been absolutely loads this year, more than I've ever noticed in any other FIFA. So I think I'd say as a community we'd be a bit more lenient on these errors if they didn't rinse us of our money every year. Do you see my point? When EA can get in line with their community again, and when we can like start to see them in a positive light, that's when things will start to get better for the game. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, that's about it for the video guys. If you have enjoyed it or found it informative, I would appreciate it if you could drop it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're actually notified when a video is posted. Otherwise you might not actually get sent like my video notifications, as dumb as that sounds. Also be sure to comment down below video suggestions and obviously your opinions on this video, because I do like to read every single comment. Like there was a video I made like a month ago about why FIFA 19 is the worst game. I responded to hundreds of comments on that. Like I actually tried my best. So don't think that I don't read them. But yeah, that's about it for the video, guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you all in the next upload. Peace.